love to see it. Good luck out there. Very excited as we move into field goal.
I'll pog on Cam any day of the week. Wonderful reactions from these guys. And definitely far greater than a 10% mentality on the side of Aphelion. These are your predictions on event.brawlstars.com. 90% of people predicting expect a crazy Raccon outcome. And I'll raise my hand and say, I'm part of that 90%, man. I'm with you here. But I'm still pumped to see what Aphelion esports are able to offer versus this star-studded roster.
That's right. We can't sleep on them. Again, we've seen them beat this team before. They're going to be in a tough spot here as Barley going to be the first pick overall. A nice response of Bonnie, though, for me. I think Bonnie is in a very solid spot in this game. Arguably a top 5 brawler in the meta. And they pair it with Gray as well. Okay, so 2 brawlers that actually can handle Barley pretty well. We've got Gray who can teleport. He's got the gadget that can pull people through the wall. And of course, Bonnie, a lot of HP, sharpshooter, traditionally not great into a thrower. But when she escapes, uses that super, and launches herself straight at Barley, not a lot the little guy can do. So I think these are 2 great choices to go with that. And my man Milcreo, yes, sir, bring that energy on the field, brother. I am excited to see them play, and I'm even more excited now that Shelly has been drafted.
Bro's got brain power to spare. I mean, he's drafting at the same time as reacting on the player cams. I mean, dude must be thinking like several minutes ahead in terms of the draft. But here are the selections from Crazy Raccon. You already mentioned the Shelly. Here comes Lola as well. I'm excited to see the Shelly, just like you. She's going to be breaking down some of these walls, and even should we head into overtime, she and Barley will be benefiting quite a lot from those unbreakable walls. But Aphelion esports have to come up with a final reaction. You don't want to teleport onto the Shelly, and you probably don't want to teleport onto the Lola either if you're Suzuku on that Gray. And Bonnie also takes a moment to charge up. So I think really a lot of considerations here. Ashe is their final selection. I'm a bit unsure of this one for Aphelion esports. As always, I'll wish them all the best, but I really feel like Crazy Raccon got the draft they wanted.
Yeah, I said Bonnie was one of those top 5 brawlers in personal opinion right now. I think Shelly has a great argument for that too. It's just funny seeing how different things are from before we left. Beforehand, Shelly nowhere to be found in the top 5 brawler play rates in this region. Nowhere to be found in the top 5 ban rates. And now all of a sudden, an explosion of Shelly. And I agree. I love Ashe, right? Such a fun brawler. Love the garbage man. But we saw what happened earlier, especially into somebody like Shelly. You charge forward, you get halted by the slowdown, by a much stronger Shelly than we saw 2 months ago. I don't know how to feel about this one either. We'll leave it to the players here as Tensai claims his first. It's going to be Satampo looking for another victim as well. Milcreo, low HP, does end up getting this kill. Low HP, though, is going to go down to Tensai. Moyagoku there to display some prowess with the thrower. A little herbal tonic on the ground. And a reset here in the mid as Crazy Raccon hold on. They're going to be looking to pursue this ball.
Ideal lane matchup on the right side. Stetampo on the Shelly. Looks for the kill onto Dimsy. Takedown on the left as Milcreo falls. But Suzuku still tries to hold his own. Could be a free lane up the left side, but someone's going to be respawning quite soon. And it is Milcreo. Moya trying to lock things in. Here's a pop of the gadget. Moya and Tensai really crowding things in. Suzuku doesn't have enough firepower to shut things down. And a walk-in from Stetampo to start things off.
Well played here. Great offense early on for Crazy Raccon, who now have an extra 4th brawler on the field with the Lola Ego. As Dempsey tries to juggle multiple brawlers, Suzuku looking to take advantage. A misconnection with the gadget, though. Now Aphelion with an opportunity, slowly being pushed away, though. Satampo having to deal with Dempsey. A shotgun blast right-hand side. Tensai now dribbling the ball towards the left. It's just a lone Bonnie on the goal side. Tensai, easy walk forward. The follow-through shots from Moya.
Panic, everything going smoothly, running like a well-oiled machine. Aphelion esports now have to respond, trying to shake things up. Already Herbal Tonic down, providing some resiliency for Crazy Raccon. Dempsey alive on the right side. Not quite the lane matchup that he wants, however, but a takedown on the left side is looking promising. Jump in from Milcreo. He's in a position to receive this pass. Stetampo a little distracted on the right side. He won't be able to defend that goal, but Moya is the dribble off of the box, but still a walk-in from Milcreo to start things off. 1 point up for Aphelion esports.
Reset here as that ball is placed on the half-field line. Satampo once again dueling with Ashe. And it's advantage Shelly for now as Dempsey has to retreat. Low HP across the board for Aphelion as Suzuku tries to make a move. He's going to get one kill looking for the second. Moya Goku claims his life though. Rayo diving forward. The teleport through has a super available as well. And what could have been an opportunity for Crazy Raccon to respond are now Aphelion with ball control. Or at least until Tensai stepped up to the plate. Opportunity still as they have the gadgets. Dempsey progressing up the map, and for now it's going to be Moya Goku holding on to the last call and throwing it down. CR survive. Just a little bit longer. Now have an opportunity to dribble this ball forward.
Last call expired. Same goes for the last herbal tonic. No more of that healing available for the Bonnie as it jumps in on the left side. Dempsey now with the pass up to the left side, just repositioning the ball to gear things up for a final one. Suzuku also has the gadget. He can use that to break the wall. And Moya seems to love hanging out behind that breakable wall. Here it comes, the teleport in, and a finish off from Suzuku. But he can't touch Tensai, not with the ego blocking so much of the damage. Dempsey now with the ball pass backwards. They have to resist this push from Stetampo, but there's only so much you can do in the face of the big barrel full of boom. Stetampo with another shutdown on the left side. And Aphelion Esports just on the ropes at the goal line.
Golly, so much work being put in from Shelly, but Tensai the one to stick the landing. A ball slides through the net there, and again, Shelly just an instigator of so much damage, so many supers going down in this great matchup against Ashe. Even the robotic rats, Shelly pierces right through them. Opportunity now for Mulcrayer, our man with energy falling here early. 12 seconds to go, dribble down the left-hand side. Moya Goku branching out, super available. Easy walk-in forward.
Totally, and honestly, this is more of a talking point last year when we had just gotten drafted in the competitive format, where if you're able to outdraft your opponent, then you get a serious advantage. How much of the game is won in the draft? Yet another mystery that faces the competitive scene in Brawl Stars, but really the verdict is it matters kind of a lot, and you can beat an opponent with the outdraft, even if mechanically most people would rate you lower in the power rankings. Crazy Raccon, they got the first pick this time. Aphelion have the coveted last pick here on Ring of Fire. A Lola first selection from Crazy Raccon. They have a bit of a reputation for repeatedly picking the same brawlers, and this is yet another brawler that carries over from the previous set.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's seemingly the approach they're going to take. Lola, somebody that's a great brawler here, high DPS, has the ego, especially when you get that shield on the ego for the freeze frame. It can put in a lot of work of kind of gaining you some map control a little bit, letting you extend yourself with a fourth brawler on the field. In response, they go with Belle, somebody that has a bounce shot when she makes connections. So running that ego a little tougher now, easier for those bounce shots to connect, of course. And Colonel Ruff's just a very consistent brawler, right? You can either run the rocket rain in this spot, you could go with the sandbags, but nonetheless, it's somebody that is great with the bounce shots, can do all right, hold his own, not the highest damage in the world, but not the least for sure, but of course can power up his teammates. I think that's what we're going to be looking for here. The Griff, though, probably looking to piggy bank open this map, and that super is lethal.
Exactly. That is exactly what was on the tip of my tongue there. It's a super that clears out the entire point, but you gotta earn the hardware. You have to line up these shots, and while he does have kind of a wide cone that he attacks in, it is a barrage. You have to strafe accurately to get that super quickly. The Jessie selection from Crazy Raccon. This is a brawler that's been growing quite a bit in popularity. Scrappy is, well, pretty healthy, we'll say. Definitely a lot of health to soak up in that super. Aphelion Esports now have to react to one of these spawnables. Also, the Jessie, I think, is going to be decent for taking care of some of the sandbags, so this might influence Suzuku to change over to that second gadget. Typically, players will start with that first gadget, the sandbags in mind, and then switch over to the meteorite rain if that first one is counting.
Yeah, that's a great point, too, and a good shout, because it's been a little bit since we've had some of these balance changes that have gone down, but of course, Scrappy and inherently getting a little bit of a buff there with the gear that he can get, and Jesse's somebody that's more popular, and having that turret down could be a little bit better way to try and scout out some of the enemy brawlers, apply some extra pressure, and now they have some bounce shots of their own. If they were even thinking about going sandbags into the enemy team, they're going to have to reconsider now. Of course, Leon joining the fray as well, very aggressive brawler, somebody that used to show up a good bit on this map, and now more recently with the vision gear change is a little bit better. So it makes sense that we're seeing more Leon, and immediately he's going to put down that gadget and get to work here. Crazy Raccon up 1-0 as we hop into set number 2.
Early game advantage going to Crazy Raccon as well. Tensai pushing forward seriously on that right side. Has to move over to the left as he's reduced to very low health. Sandbag still down. Let's note from Aphelion Esports, as Shetampo is all the way on the right side, those sandbags are a bit safer without the ricocheting shot from Shetampo's shocking gun. Aphelion Esports still looking for really any opening, but nothing seems to reveal itself. Crazy Raccon have the dodges on lock, and Aphelion Esports are really teetering on the edge of this point.
Crazy Raccon not giving them any space to work with. It's a rotate over from Suzuki trying to generate something here for the team, but Mocreo now finally touching down. But at the end of the day, all of this hard work to gain 5%, Moya still dipping his toes in. Tensai now with an ego in play too. Despite the bounce shot, can still back them off this point a little bit longer. Even if Tensai goes down, they've got Moya there. They've got Shetampo there to immediately hop back on. They're rotating these players so well, and Aphelion really struggling into this.
Suzuki was getting real sneaky on the right side, and Shetampo hit him with the very first shot to check whether he was there. He'll still get the jump on Shetampo and might have actually used a super there. Dimsy also trying to shut down Tensai, but he can't fire off the last shot and will control the entire time. Crazy Raccon, they stood in a more forward position, but they had the dodges to back it up.
Yeah, the footwork coming in from Crazy Raccon just to allow themselves to juggle in and out of this hot zone. That's the name of the game, of course. It's an objective. Sometimes kills don't do everything, so when one brawler falls, now it's Moya's turn. He's going to go ahead and try and step onto this hot zone. They're going to trust in their teammate to get the big dodges. He's doing a wonderful job right now, dealing with Mocreo, dealing with Dempsey, holding on here and now climbing up to 25%. And Aphelion are being backed away. Shetampo being positioned really well, applying pressure to Dempsey. Suzuki can't branch out either. The aggressive brawler stuck in his own grass. 43%, not a single percentage point claimed by Aphelion yet.
Shetampo's been lethal, moving up the right lane and even penetrating the back lines. And all this time, actually, Aphelion haven't been able to grab that power-up that broke the logs just moments ago. Milcreo might be able to reach it. Moya and Shetampo are definitely going to play around. A secondary objective, if you will. Milcreo still able to snag it. That'll be a nice advantage for him in terms of damage and health. Tensai still remains alive, however. Nice final shot locked in for Milcreo. And 74% already captured by Crazy Raccon before Aphelion are really able to break past that 1% mark on their side. But this is a good look for them. They might finally be able to hit their stride. Definitely have to warm up a bit more before they can reach that area. Another nest egg tripped by Tensai. Moya tries to push in too. Crazy Raccon gradually inching towards victory.
Yeah, and even though that super didn't super connect there for Moya Goku, it did its job. It backed Dempsey away, and now only a few percentage points to go. Couple tags coming in from Mocreo, but it won't. Dated players in and out so well. There was never really a dead moment for Crazy Raccon on that hot zone. The footwork for me, the dodging effort, so strong. I think that set just demonstrated the pure skill that these guys have.
Totally. I mean, Tensai was definitely the player that I saw die the most, but Tensai was also the player that I saw capture the most on that zone. So really, dying isn't a failure. It's just kind of part of getting the more percentage points locked in on the point. And that's really what it's all about, playing that objective. This time, it's gems that spawn in the middle. A similar concept, hold on to those gems, and make sure you don't let it slip towards the end. Aphelion Esports start off the draft with the Colonel Ruffs. Definitely going to be useful for breaking open either lane. They're still able to break open some stuff on this map, even with the introduction of Unbreakables. So, Crazy Raccon now have to think about how they'll deal with the sandbags, because they can already basically wave goodbye to a good bit of their cover on this map.
It's going to be Janet as the selection for Crazy Raccon. In this region especially, I'm looking out for Sandy as a lane option here as well. Looks like they're going to be going with Crow. A quick couple picks here for Crazy Raccon, and two pretty standard ones at that. I think a lot of people pretty nervous about the balance changes that Janet got. After chatting with a couple pro players over here in NA, I think she's still going to be pretty good. Not overpowered, she never really was, but definitely not as consistent as a pick as I think we once saw her. But to see her here, I think still a really valuable super. Could be an awesome gym grab carrier, especially with the super. She can just bolt away. It's a get out of jail free card. So good choice here. And again, if they do end up running that sandbag, obviously a piercing shot to go with that as well.
Yeah, pretty much the first thing that stuck out to me from Janet was you will be able to shoot through those sandbags, and hey, they're probably going to be left out in the open too, considering that these walls will be broken down by the Colonel Ruffs, and that would pose a serious advantage for them as they've already selected yet another long-range brawler, Suzuki. And he'll be able to charge someone up with a spirit animal, the star power, alongside his super. Also, the bit of advantage you can get from charging someone up with the treat from Colonel Ruffs. Dempsey now on the spike. All very, very safe selections from Aphelion Esports. No real power players here. No tank sort of character that's going to shut everything down, that's going to be the aggro. And this is not something we typically see. I expect to see a lot of work coming out from Barley, however.
Yeah, Barley was one that I think can work out here. A great matchup in general to Spike and to Colonel Ruffs. A thrower can traditionally do well in that. I was almost looking out for the Tara a little bit there to kind of mess with the life plant, to mess with the possibility of Colonel Ruffs sandbags. Obviously a super insane super, and it didn't happen. So that was when I was kind of holding my breath on it, especially for as good of that brawler is right now and how much it shows up in this region. But I think Barley can accomplish some of the things. And again, great matchup overall. Not somebody that never shows up on this map either. So I was holding my breath on that one to see if it showed up. Didn't quite happen, but I still really like this composition coming in from Crazy Raccon. Like I said, Aphelion don't really have anything that stands out to me, that makes them more dynamic, if you will. So they're just gonna have to win some lanes. I think it's gonna simply come down to that. I love the Spike matchup into Crow, but other than that, no clear advantage, I would say, for Aphelion Esports here. And they're gonna have to try and claw their way back. Already down 3 gyms to 0. Tensai putting several gyms in his pocket to kick off this game.
Serious control played by Moy on the left side, but he's getting a bit overwhelmed. Milcreo now being peeled off by Tensai, but he stays alive, actually. Massive radius from the drop the base could be enough to take down Milcreo. It will be. And also, bit of wall break. The treat now firmly placed in enemy lines, probably inaccessible to Aphelion Esports and company, but still an important area of the map now inaccessible and not super viable for Moya. Doesn't seem to matter too much to him, though. He's posted up on the left lane. Even with someone approaching, he's still in a very aggressive position. Tensai just needs a few more gems to finish this one off. A couple of more, a matter of seconds really separating Crazy Raccon from victory, unless Aphelion Esports make a big play.
The dodges from Tensai were unreal, but a couple shots landed from Milcreo there to try and give them some kind of positioning. But Tensai refusing to go away, can always use the super if he needs it. Dive in from Satampo on the right-hand side. Crow gets the pickup here, 9-3. Last gym being claimed by Tensai, and now we have a countdown on our hands. Aphelion are gonna have to respond rather quickly.
They're not home safe. Moya could be taken down. Tensai probably completely out of harm's way because he could just super to the sky. Moya, no more walls to hide behind. Milcreo trying to go for anything, though he's being denied at every turn by Satampo.
Does his best to kind of judge it, ask pro players a lot of questions. I feel like they've done solid, but again, against a team like this, you either have to give yourself such a crazy advantage in the draft or keep up with their mechanics. And this is a spot where I feel like they're just going to have to duel it out and hope and trust in their skills enough to win, because their draft hasn't given them too much of an advantage. And well, Tensai and the boys have done a great job of capitalizing on that. 4-0 here to kick off game number 2. Satampo putting up a great fight on the right-hand side. Smooth sailing so far with a perfect gadget placement there from Tensai. My goodness.
That was well done by Milcreo too. It's just maximum mechanics going head-to-head and split-second plays, resulting in a victory for Tensai. He's going to be pushed out quite a bit, though, by the gadget from Colonel Ruffs. Tensai now shifts gears onto the right side, maybe taking down Suzuku. The life plant is procced. He stays alive. Yet another one down. And he has one more gadget remaining. Satampo swiftly takes it down. On the left side, Dempsey makes a big breakthrough, quite literally breaking through those walls and diminishing a lot of Moya's control. Take down to Tensai at mid. The gems topple the ground. Moya, cautious, does still pick those up. 6 gems on the side of Crazy Raccon, all on top of Moya, who has no escape plan, as did Tensai.
Nice opportunity here as Aphelion Esports do claim a few gyms of their own. They still don't quite have the positioning I'm sure they would love to see. It's going to be hard. Oh, and a missed super there. Those Gust supers are so valuable, so missing out on that opportunity. Trade going down, though. Now Milcreo dashing forward, trying to claim these gyms, and all of a sudden, sometimes it's a 1 kill that makes the difference. And now Aphelion Esports, with 1 kill, have a lifeline and an advantageous positioning here in game number 2.
just last game, the big game changer was Moya. He had that wall to work with, and he does switch onto the right side to make things work this time. He counter spike pretty hard, and he's going to be using that to his full advantage. Dimsy on the left side is protected by that shield only for a moment longer. Tinside does try to move forward, get a bit of damage in on Milcreo, weaken Dimsy a little bit as well. They got to keep these gems safe, and Moya is built for this task, purpose-built to fire over these walls, but down goes Shitetampo, and now their defenses are beginning to weaken. The countdown active for Crazy Raccon, but it's short-lived. Moya could be taken down too. He's dodging the curveballs, and Aphelion Esports begin a countdown of their own with only 10 gems. They're not home safe just yet. Moya is still a very real threat on the right side. Another wall broken down on the left, but Moya owns the right half of the map.
Crazy Raccon fighting to win this match right here, right now. They're going to claim the 12th. Bubble being dispersed over to Suzuki, but Milcreo needs to pick this up. Halts that countdown for now, and we could be coming down to a final gem here. It all comes down to number 15 if we get there. But for now, it's going to be Tinsai claiming 13, and Aphelion going to have to find a way to deal with this.
Shitetampo got the kill with that final shot, though. Dimsy taken down. A protected gem, perhaps. No, it only looked that way. Suzuki falls. A countdown temporarily for Aphelion Esports. The Crazy Raccon are able to reel it back. Next one easily in the clutches of Aphelion, but they have to stay pretty far up if they want to make sure they get the last one. It will spawn on Crazy Raccoon's side. It could be free for Tensai. He takes to the skies and reroutes things towards the back. Could even land on top of these gems. Suzuki trying to protect them with his life. Needs the takedown. There it is. Walking back with number 15, Aphelion Esports. Undefeatable as no one's able to reach them in the back lines. They will extend.
Going to barely survive that interaction. Aphelion Esports tournament lives continue a little bit longer, and as hard as that game number 2 was, they're going to have to try and do it all over again if they want to get to a set 4.
Certainly good for Aphelion Esports to continue their fight here, but something that sticks out to me is that, well, they got countered so hard by the Barley in game 1, and even though Dimsy was able to fire off some early supers in the last one, as soon as Moya switched over to the side that didn't have broken walls, the game completely changed. Aphelion had every single gem on the field, and Crazy Raccon were still able to bring things to a tie. Big plays for Milcreo, though, sort of shakes up the rhythm of things. Another wall break as well on the left side. Moya could be looking for the lane switch, actually, but he's not done yet. He can still provide some value versus Milcreo at mid. 1-2 shot certainly is a great look for the guy, but here's the lane switch. Shitetampo moving over to the left side, and this is why I wasn't so hopeful for Aphelion this time. Crazy Raccon know that they had to go for the lane switch quite early on.
Little kooky popper going down there from Milcreo as well. 6-4. Aphelion still trailing in the gym count, but have certainly shown a strong amount of pressure in the mid here. Back and forth battle right now. Dual left-hand side. Shitetampo being backed away. The slowdown in the Dimsy. Tinsai claiming a victim on the right-hand side. Last call going down. It's really going to make Milcreo take the long way around. A couple shots landing as well. The maple syrup connecting as Tinsai claims the 8th gym for Crazy Raccon. 2 away from starting a countdown.
A close call. Tinsai now on the return flight and manages to drop some gems on the ground in the process. Dimsy tries to protect them as much as he can, but drop the base down provides a lot of value and a whole lot of area control. Moya firmly posted up on the right side, does have 1 gem over his head, which he needs to keep in his possession. Just 1 kill. Crazy Raccon could interrupt things. The clock ticks down. Aphelion Esports need really any kill, but they're so far out of range. Continues ticking down. Milcreo down for the count. The spins are out. The pins are up. And Crazy Raccon are headed on to the grand finals.
These fellows refuse to go down. Aphelion had their number 1 time this year, but other than that, smooth sailing in this East Asia region. And now we get a matchup that I think a lot of people were anticipating.